Buenos días, clase. Hoy vamos a repasar. We are going to review el capítulo 11, el mundo del trabajo. Ok, primero vamos a comenzar con por y para. Ok, comencemos con por. So the preposition por is used when talking about motion or approximate location. It is then usually translated as through, via, around, along, or by. For example, vamos por la calle Gaudí. Pasaron por el restaurante. What other uses are there? It indicates means, manner, unit of measure, or the notion of exchange. For example, están hablando por teléfono. Las manzanas son $2 por libra. Te doy $3 por 2 libras. Por also indicates the period of time during which an action takes place. Viajo por 2 meses. Or camino por 3 horas. That's a long time. And it can mean in search of or for. Voy por Juan y Andrés. It is also used to indicate the motive or cause of an action. Llegamos tarde por la lluvia. Estoy buscando trabajo por necesidad. Great. Now let's review para. Now this preposition is generally associated with goals, outcomes, or desired effects. It is used to express either a specific destination, and that's why I have the arrow here, such as vamos para Santiago, a desired time at which an action should take place, a deadline, leer el libro para la próxima clase, who or what something is for, el regalo es para mi hermana, objectives or goals, me entreno para los Juegos Olímpicos, or what is hoped to be achieved by doing something. Estoy buscando trabajo para comprar una bicicleta. Great. What do you say? Practice time? Vamos a practicar. Ok. Escoge por o para según el contexto para completar cada oración. So remember to read the sentence and understand the context so you can pick the right one. And here's a little chart from your book of the uses of por and para, in case you need it. Remember, when you're ready, so first pause, then press play and see the answers. ¿Listos? Okay, aquí están las respuestas. How did you do? If you feel like you still need more practice, go ahead and go over the other lessons for por and para. Now let's move on to the second order of business. The present subjunctive. So as you know, we use the present subjunctive when we have verbs of volition or influence, emotion, feelings, doubt, negation, or denial. So how do we form the subjunctive? So remember, to form the subjunctive for most verbs, start with the yo form of the verb in the present tense. Then drop the O and add the ending appropriate for that verb. And here's a chart. So for verbs ending in AR, these are the endings. For verbs ending in ER or IR, here are the endings. So let's take a look at a few examples. Here we have the verb tener in its infinitive form. As you can see, it's an ER ending verb. And so these are the endings. So first, what do? We use the yo form of it, tengo, and then Then we drop the O, and now we have the perfect root here to add the change, the stem to. Okay, so yo, que yo tenga, que tú tengas, que él, ella, usted tenga, que nosotros tengamos, que vosotros tengáis, que ellos, ellas, ustedes tengan. Great. Next one. Seguir. Seguir. Again, it's an IR verb, so we have the same stem change. We start with the yo form, yo sigo, drop the O, and here are the endings. Que yo siga, que tú sigas, que él, ella siga, que nosotros sigamos, vosotros sigáis, que ellos, ellas, ustedes sigan. Okay, hablar. This is an AR ending verb. Yo hablo is the yo form. Drop the O and proceed to add the correct ending. Depending on conjugation you need, here they are. Que yo hable, que tú hables, que él, ella, usted hable, que nosotros hablemos, que vosotros, vosotras habléis, que ellos, ellas, ustedes hablen. And there we go for leer, and you already know how to do it. Now let's move on. Which 5 verbs from the chapter have irregular subjunctive forms? Do you remember? See if you can list them. Here we go. Dar, estar, ir, saber, and ser. So verbs that do not end in O in the yo form of the indicative are irregular in the subjunctive. And here are their conjugations. I must, I must. So, for our stem changing verbs that change E to IE or O to UE mirror the present indicative stem changes, but have an additional stem change of E to I and O to U in the nosotros and vosotros form. Let's take a look at it so you can understand what I'm saying. So here we go. We have sentir. So as you know, in the present indicative, in the nosotros or vosotros form, the E would have stayed here. Nosotros sentimos, right? But in the subjunctive, it changes. It stays in an I. The same is with words like dormir. So, que él duerma, que tú duermas. In the present indicative, we would have said nosotros dormimos, right? This would have remained an O, but not in this form, right? We'll remember to change it from O to U. Kind of makes it easier, right? Because you know that they all kind of just stay the same a little bit. In addition, IR ending verbs that stem change from E to I, like servir, right? There's the verb and it changes to an I, have an additional E to I stem change in the nosotros and vosotros form. So same thing. So usually in the present indicative, it would have been nosotros servimos, right? Remember to change the E to an I. Nosotros repetimos. Now in the subjunctive is repitamos. And finally, certain AR ending verbs have spelling changes. This is done to preserve pronunciation of the final consonant in the stem. These spelling changes affect all verbs ending in car, gar, sar, and guar. Okay, with all of that in mind, are you ready to put that into practice? Let's see. So complete the sentences with the subjunctive form of the verb in parentheses. Easy, right? All right, remember to pause, try it out, and then press play to see the answers. All right, let's do it. Here are the answers. So take a look at it, see how you did, see if you need to do more practice, and then let's move forward. Whoop. Finally, subjunctive with verbs of volition. So here are some verbs that usually indicate that there is volition going on. Aconsejar, desear, mandar, necesitar, querer, sugerir, prohibir, recomendar, preferir. That's just a few of them. So a verb of volition is followed by a verb in the subjunctive when the subject of the dependent clause is different from that of the independent clause. The two clauses are linked together by the word que. Example, necesito que firmes la tarjeta. In sentences that have no change of subject. An infinite, not the subjunctive, follows the verb of volition. Necesito firmar la tarjeta. Okay, practice time. So read each sentence and then decide the reason why the subjunctive is used or not used. Okay, press pause and then press play to see the answers. Great, let's take a look. Me alegro. This is an important clue here. Me alegro, it's a feeling, so you know it's going to be emotion. Me alegro de que mi familia y yo vayamos a Panamá. Es necesario. Hey, you can see volition and influence there with that key word right here. Necesario. Espero que haga buen tiempo. So this is a wish, emotion. Es probable que veamos animales y plantas diferentes. It's probable, so you know that's doubt, uncertainty. Es cierto. Okay, big clue right here. If it's certain, then you know there's going to be no subjunctive here, right? Es cierto que el canal de Panamá es impresionante. 6. Mi madre duda. My mother doubts. Easy, right? You see duda, you know it's going to be C, doubt and uncertainty. Excuse me. 7. Es imposible que mi hermano menor viaje con nosotros. It's impossible. Es imposible. Negation and denial. And finally, espero divertirme mucho. I hope to have a lot of fun. As you can see, there is no change of subject here, and therefore we use the infinitive and no subjunctive. So, when a sentence consists of a main clause, for example, usted quiere, and a subordinate clause, que yo le dé el número de mi cuenta, and the subjects of the two clauses are different, the subjunctive must be used in the subordinate clause if the main clause expresses someone's wish or desire. Ok, eso es todo para el repaso del capítulo 11. Remember, this is just a quick review. If there's anything that's still, you're unsure about, go back to those lessons and review them again. If it's still unclear, of course, you can come over and talk to me, email me, come to my office hours, etc. We can work it out. Adios.